Hey y'all, welcome back to Nia's Amar. I recently did a photo shoot and I wanted to walk y'all through how I did the hair and the makeup for this photo shoot. So these photos, hair, makeup, photography is all done by yours truly, and I wanted to kind of show you the beginning and how it started out. She showed up with a braid out already that I had requested her to have in her hair, which is great because it just stretched her hair and gave her lots of volume, so I really could work with it and do kind of any look that I wanted to. I had a look in mind already based on the concept for the shoot, based on the idea that we were going with. We wanted to create something around using art as a way of creating freedom within beauty. So I knew that this shoot would be something that was a little bit more creative, and I want her hair to be voluminous, so this works best. So I'm just taking the braids out here so that I can start to prep her hair for what we're going to do next. So whenever I'm about to do a new look, I kind of sketch it out in my mind first and create the sections that I want, and then I go in and do the look. So here her hair is already out and I've created my sections, and I'm about to start braiding the sides to create the look that I want to do. So once I've sectioned the hair that I want to braid, I'm just putting some edge control to really slick her edges down and have the braids look a little neater and a little bit more compact and like flat on the sides. So what I'm doing here is just continuing to braid, but as I braid, I'm using hairpins to pin the braids down to create this kind of faux hawk look that I'm going for. So we're starting off with a clean canvas with her face, moisturized, primed, just nothing on her face prior to, and then I'm just filling in her brows to create a little bit more definition. I fill her brows with a mixture of deep brown and black brow powder. I wanted her brows to still be very defined in the photos because I knew that I was going to build a lot of makeup, so I wanted to do a little bit darker just so that it would still stand out. So once her brows have been defined with the powder, I'm just going in with a little bit of concealer underneath her brows and then on top of it so that it is cleaned up a bit and it's more bold and it stands out. And I'm blending the concealer out onto her eyes. So I'm now going over her eyes with actual eyeshadow, and I'm using more neutral tones, more browns, and then a deeper black color. It's more of a charcoalish color on the edges just to create that kind of smoky eye look. But I want it to be a really subtle smoky eye because the focus of this look will not be her eyeshadow, particularly not in the form of typically how we think about eyeshadow and eyes. There'll still be intensity there, but not in the ways that we usually think about it. I don't want the eyeshadow to distract away from the rest of the look. I'm adding a white liner to her bottom waterline because I want that bold, eyes wide open kind of look with her. And then I'm just going underneath to clean up any fallout that may have fallen out when I was doing her eyeshadow. And just, I forgot to mention this, but I blended out right underneath her actual brow line with like a more orangey brown tone because again I'm trying to keep her eyes as neutral as possible. And then I'm going in underneath her eyes with more of a, this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, the deep palette, and I'm using the more orange tone underneath her eyes to start doing my contour and highlight. For the actual highlight itself, I'm using more of the cool tone brown I didn't want her face to actually be really orange just for the under eye, but the highlight areas itself within the T-zone of her nose is more of that cooler brown tone. The orange is more so to, it's actually not really orange, it's more like an orangey brown color under her eye, and it's more so to brighten up her under eye area, and then it's a great contrast up against the contour color within her cheekbone. And then I'm using another highlight color to bring out that contour a little bit more, which is a different color again from the under eye, so it just creates a great dimension on the face. I'm using a flat top buffer brush to blend everything out. It's one of my favorites to use when blending, but honestly speaking, my fingers are forever going to be my favorite when it comes to blending. So here I'm starting to use a black opal foundation, liquid foundation that they have. I will put the name of the actual foundation and the color in the description box below. And I'm using a flat top buffer brush to start from her neck and slowly build it up into her face. And I'm using a pretty good amount in terms of what I'm distributing. It's more of a full coverage foundation for sure, and I am using a good amount of it to give her more of that complete finish look. So right here I'm just using plain old generic paper towel to dab off any of the excess that could be on her face, because I really want it to be set in without any excess for the next step that I'm about to go into right now. Honestly, she is so cute right here, so I had to leave it in because I was like, this is why I do what I do. For moments that I can see people see themselves and watch their reaction and start to really feel like they're being seen. So I wanted to start with her lips on these final finishing touches to her face. I am lining her lips with a color called Bitchy from the Nia Zamar line. You can find that at www.niazamar.com. And it's kind of like a cream matte color, like it goes on pretty creamy. Um, it has a little bit of a velvety texture to it, but as you wear it, it kind of mattifies a bit. And it's great full coverage pigment. So I'm just filling in her lips here with that color. Within this look, we really wanted to channel the ancestors. We really wanted to channel all things princess. Like, we wanted to bring out that creativity, that freedom, but also, quite honestly, we talked about symmetry in a person's face and talked about bringing out particular features using makeup. We talked about this concept of like war paint and being ready for the world. Like, we talked about all these different things, and I wanted to really accentuate our conversation with the makeup that I was doing with her. I wanted it to really bring out the concepts and ideas of being free and being free using art and creativity and makeup. And for me, the best way to do that is to really accentuate her features. So right here with these dots, I really just wanted to start to play with the concept of symmetry on her face and bring out her different features using white, particularly because I knew it would be bright and bold with her face in that area. So here I'm starting to use the white dots, kind of like how you think about a highlight, and I wanted to highlight this area of her face. So I went in with white dots to really bring that out more. When I'm doing makeup like this, I love to freehand it. Actually, my favorite part is when I'm freehanding it. It just allows me a lot of creative freedom and expression in that way, but also I feel like the looks start to come out a lot more natural when I'm freehanding it. I'm using a color pot called Chroma Color, and essentially what it is makeup paint pots, and they can stay on really long for purposes of doing creative type makeup, but they also come off in similar ways that makeup would, and they are fine and like great for skin and so on and so forth. They're made to be worn as if they're makeup. So sometimes it could be worn as a liner, it could be worn as a base for eyeshadow, it can be worn on the lips, it can be worn in a lot of different ways, but essentially what it is makeup paint. So what I'm doing here is just playing with the symmetry of her face and trying to bring it out using the different colors, kind of how you think about it, like a highlight and a contour. I was just building on top of that. And then I'm moving into her eye area because, again, I want to accentuate her natural features and really bring them out and have them be more bold through the color usage and the line usage within her face. Most of where I'm putting the paint pot, I'm actually just following the natural symmetry of her face and trying to accentuate that. So one of the key components when I'm using the color pots, I'm using one brush because it's easier for me to use one fine tipped brush that I'm able to angle, and the brush has some density to it, so it's able to hold the color really well. I also tend to use it as if I was drawing. And the way I'm able to do that is when I take some of the color out of the pot, I remove the excess onto my hand so that I can get really clean and precise lines. I wanted to give a new meaning to bold lip by accentuating her lip with a white line underneath. I wanted her lips to really stand out and be bold, and specifically to really push back around some of the norms around concepts about lips and lips being too full, because she has very full lips. I wanted to bring that out more as truthfully an act of resistance around what stereotypical mainstream beauty would say around bold lips. And there you have it. This is the finished product of our look. With her, she's actually Afro-Latina, and she had some traditional clothing, and so from Ghana, I believe. And we wanted to bring it all together for this photo shoot. Thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful in encouraging you to be creative with your makeup usage. Please comment and share this for others to see, and subscribe if you haven't already. Hope to see you again. Peace.